Okay, let's be honest. No one likes having to sit through happy birthday. Having to listen to people sing happy birthday to you.
Well, you don't like to sit through people having to sing happy birthday to you.
If we're being totally honest, like I'm being totally serious here, it's probably one of the most uncomfortable 15 to 20 second periods every year that I have to go through. I absolutely hate when you have to sit through someone singing happy birthday to you. I hate attention. I make a point not to have attention drawn to myself, so having everyone sitting there staring at you, it makes me really uncomfortable. And I think it stemmed from growing up, going to restaurants.
Texas Roadhouse.
And they have you stand on the booth.
On the table.
Draw the attention of the whole restaurant to you, and sing to you.
Yes.
But I think we can agree that my 21st birthday was by far the worst.
That was...
So let's...
Do you want me to tell her, or do you want to tell her?
Let me step back for a second, and then you can...
Okay.
So, a couple days before my 21st birthday, I was feeling a little bit sick.
Hannah was feeling a little bit icky.
Yeah. I mean, I had, stomach stuff going on. I'm not going to get into the details because you don't need to hear that. But I was not feeling good. And I thought, this will just pass. I wake up on the morning of my 21st birthday feeling worse than I had in a couple days.
You forgot to mention that the night before, I received a call from my mom at 2:30 in the morning asking me to check on you to see if you were okay because you fell asleep in the bathtub.
Yeah, I didn't feel good, and I thought, maybe sitting in the bathtub would help, and I fell asleep. And I told my mom I would, text her in a couple minutes, and I fell asleep for, probably 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So Alyssa knocks on the bathroom door, and I'm just, passed out in there.
See, I didn't know you'd fallen asleep because you responded.
Right.
Because you woke up. Because
right.
I was like, hey, are you okay?
But anyway, so the next morning I'm not feeling good, so I go to we're in college, so I go to our
health
campus, doctor's office, health center. And, they're like, oh, it's probably nothing, but we'll do some blood work and whatever. They call back an hour later and they're like, you need to go to the ER because
your white
blood count is really high. You have some sort of infection. And I was like, oh, that's great. So I go into Alyssa's room and I'm like, hey, I need you to take me to the ER casually because I've already been there a couple times during college.
It was a yearly thing. You had to go to the ER every single year.
And not even necessarily anything bad. I just kept sick, random sickness
And
things.
It was always at nighttime, so I had to go because places weren't open.
Right. So anyway, so she takes me and, we're...
Well, first of all...
It was flu season.
I take you, I had slept in, so I, had just woken up, 30 minutes before that. So, I had a book. I was reading one of the Harry Potter books. I was rereading the series. So I'm like, okay, I'll bring a book and a snack and my water. We get in the waiting room, and it's just all full of old people hacking and coughing.
Flu-ridden.
There's this one woman at the counter who was like, it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. And I was like, oh, my God. So you got taken back.
Well, so they, the lady comes and gets me, and she's like, oh, technically you're not a pediatric patient because, I had just turned 21. But she's like, since you're, one of the younger people here, we'll take you back to the pediatric area because it was not as busy. And they're like, oh, does whoever's with you, do they want to come with you? And I was like, probably. So I flagged Alyssa, and I was like, hey.
Hannah had initially left, and I was just sitting in the waiting room, and I was like, I wish I had, noise-canceling headphones right now because I feel like I'm in a death zone with just people hacking and coughing and we get the flu. So thankfully, I got to go to the pediatric waiting room.
Yeah.
And I was there for a bit, and it was completely empty.
Right.
And I'm like, fantastic.
So I'm in the ER, where I'm in a room now, and, they hook up an IV and all this stuff, and it's been a couple hours because
I think in total I was there with you for about 8 hours before I left.
So anyways, we're waiting, and then I go and get a CT done, and I'm whatever, and I get back to the room, and it's been probably 2 hours since I've spoken to a nurse or a doctor, which they're busy, so I don't that's fine. I was fine. I wasn't in super amount of pain. I'd already gotten medicine and stuff. Anyways, so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, probably 3 or 4...
Well, so, I don't know if you wanted to share why you were in the hospital.
Oh, did they already tell that?
They told you.
Okay.
First.
So anyways, so they came in, and they're like, it's your appendix, you have appendicitis, basically. My appendix was, getting ready to burst. And so they're like, we're going to have to, basically...
Well, essentially what they told you is they said, we don't know if we're going to do surgery tonight or tomorrow morning. They're like, we're not sure yet. We'll let you know.
Right.
And you also asked for pain medication.
Right.
And they said they would send in, a nurse to bring you more to hook up to your IV.
Yeah.
So we were in waiting of both finding out when your surgery was going to be and also getting your pain medication.
Right. So we're waiting, and all of a sudden the door opens and I'm like, oh, great. They're going to tell me either I'm having surgery or like they're going to bring me some pain medicine. And like 3 or 4 people came in and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And do you want to tell this next part? Because I kind of blacked it out.
So a PA was mainly, there was a woman who was talking to you who's a PA, physician's assistant, who's mainly was talking to you. So she comes in, the doctor comes in, and 2, I don't know if they were nurses or, assistants of sorts, and they come in, and all of a sudden, they just start singing happy birthday.
So they had known it was my birthday because, like,
right.
on your armband,
yes.
and they had mentioned it. They're like, oh, it's your birthday today.
And also because you were like, it's my 21st birthday.
Right.
And they're like, oh, it's a rough way to spend your 21st birthday.
So imagine my agony, already being in pain. The pain medicines had not been administered yet, so I was not anywhere near, like, high or anything off pain meds.
Out of it.
Being trapped in a hospital bed, not being able to move, and just having them sing happy birthday to me.
And so, at least in my perspective, and I was uncomfortable for you, it was more like I was uncomfortable because I knew how uncomfortable that made you, and I'm like, oh, this is so awful. And so I'm like, okay, good. They're going to sing you happy birthday. It's going to be awkward, and then they'll tell you. So they sing happy birthday, and then they just leave. They didn't say anything. All of them. Every single person in this group leaves. They didn't say anything. They didn't say anything about the pain medication. They didn't mention anything about the surgery. They just came in to sing you happy birthday and leave.
And then, about 45 minutes later, they come back in and they're like, oh, we're going to take you to surgery in about 10 minutes.
It was like an immediate thing because our parents were coming to the hospital because, knowing Mom, she like has to, she's like, I'm going to be there immediately. So
they don't live that far away from where we went to
a couple
college.
hours, but I was like texting with her, and I'm like, I don't know when it's gonna happen, and then I was like, oh, they're doing it like now.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, okay, we're parking.
I mean, they showed up right before I went down, and of course, then they gave me the pain meds after all that torture.
Right.
That was the worst birthday of my life, by a pretty far margin.
In a way, once you were past the surgery, we like to joke that it was karma for going to bars underage.
Right, that's what I get for illegally going into
bars. Is using a false ID.
Right. Because I'm the first person ever to do that.
Yes, essentially, yes.
And
it was the karma.
I get punished with a appendicitis on my 21st birthday. But anyways, so that's a little fun story.
Yep, birthdays. Welcome. This is Research.
Rank.
Repeat.
This is Hannah.
This is Hannah.
This is Alyssa.
This is Alyssa.
And this is a podcast.
We're coming at you with a podcast.
About who let the dogs out?
Who? We're doing dogs.
We're doing dogs.
Now, this is a weird list.
We're ranking dog breeds because that sounded a little bit weird.
We are doing a ranking list about dog breeds.
And this idea came to us from a listener.
Yes.
This was a suggested idea, which is, I think this is, no,
I don't know what you're just saying.
The alphabet idea was also suggested, but this was
Yes.
a suggested idea from a listener. You know who you are, thank you.
Shout out to that listener.
Shout out, they may be on the podcast soon.
We love dogs. We love animals.
Yeah.
Dogs are man's best friend.
Woman's best friend.
And the woman's best friend.
We refuse to,
Yes.
let the man ruin everything.
I mean, dogs are great.
Right.
Most people love dogs.
Yeah. And there's probably like hundreds and hundreds of dog breeds.
The problem is once you get to the mixed breeds,
right,
where you get like the golden doodles and, the husky corgi mix, like it just gets insane. There's so many dog breeds. So I just want to start by saying I don't want you to feel jaded if your favorite dog breed is not on our lists. It's not a personal attack. We only did 10.
We also simply might have missed it because I don't have time to sit through and look through like 500 dog breeds.
Right. Like I went through like what's the
American Kennel Association.
American Kennel Association's webpage. And essentially my ratio of picking it is based on cuteness.
Right.
It's based on utility of the dog. Just a general, what do I like what it looks like?
In past experience.
And personal experience
Right,
with
right.
said dogs. We have prepared PowerPoints with photos of said dogs in case we want to look at the dogs, if we need a reference for the other person.
We really went all out, and if you want a copy of our PowerPoint, you can shoot us an email and we'll send it to you.
We'll send you our pictures of dogs.
So we wanted to do some dog facts. We don't necessarily need to do a bunch of research into dogs,
Yes.
but I did allow Alyssa a minute to do some science.
I'm very
facts.
excited. Hannah allowed me a science minute to share some scientific facts about dogs. I studied zoology in college. I have a bachelor's degree in zoology, and by God, if I don't get to use it for something, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm going to start the clock.
So I'm going to try to talk as much as possible. I tried to get some interesting science facts about dogs. You just tell me when to go, and I'll go.
Go.
Okay, so dogs and wolves divergently evolved from an extinct species of wolf about 15 to 40,000 years ago. And so the actual domestication of dogs, how it happened, is heavily disputed. Some people think it was one event that happened in time. Some people think that there was more than one domestication event. But there does appear to be a pattern of self-domestication where normally in a species it's survival of the fittest, where the most adapted species, within a species, will survive. This is survival of the friendliest, where the friendliest dogs seem to be the most likely to survive and become man or woman's best friend. So in the survival of the friendliest is seen in the less severe features of dogs, which is droopy ears, curly tails, the pelts being different from the wolf features to more of the friendly dog stuff. That is what I have.
You got 5 seconds. You want to say anything else?
Canis lupus is I believe is the scientific name of dogs.
Okay.
All right.
So she got to nerd out for a minute.
Yes, but now I have some fun dog
There we
facts.
go. Let's do some fun facts.
So some of them are there's some science to it, but they're fun dog facts. So dogs' noses have about 300 million smell receptors compared to humans who have about 5 million. So they have excellent noses. And like humans, dogs can be yawn triggered. Where if you yawn at somebody, they will cause them to yawn. If you yawn at a dog, they're going to yawn back at you. A dog's nose print is like a fingerprint. They're all unique. You and a dog's blood pressure go down when they get pets. If you're petting a dog, blood pressure decreases. Dog's blood pressure decreases. Everyone wins.
That's probably why they have therapy dogs.
Exactly.
There we go.
Speaking of therapy dogs, lots of dogs have jobs. There are a lot of dog jobs. You've got hunting dogs. You've got farming dogs. You've got herding dogs. Dogs smelling things in the sense of medical uses, smelling cancers. They've got dogs smelling for COVID. Mm-hmm. That's a new thing that's happening right now. You've got cadaver dogs searching for corpses. You've got drug dogs.
Leader dogs,
Service dogs, police dogs. You've even got dogs serving as mayors. There's a town in California where Mayor Max was the mayor of this town until he died, and now they replaced him with Mayor Max 2, a new dog who took over as the mayor role. You've also got Zeke the Wonder Dog, frisbee catching dogs. So essentially, dogs just got lots of jobs. And there is a subreddit called Are Dogs with Jobs, if you wanted to just look at dogs in different jobs. It's a subreddit I love because it's just dogs wearing costumes, doing things, goggles, boots. It's all great. So greyhounds can reach a speed of 45 miles per hour. They can also maintain a speed of 35 miles per hour for up to 7 miles, which is crazy.
That's insane.
So they can maintain a speed at a higher level than cheetahs can for a long period of time. Because cheetahs can go faster than that, but they can only sprint for a certain period of time. They can go super fast for so long. And like humans, dogs have a preferred front paw. They might prefer their right paw or their left paw.
Like a dominant.
Exactly. And the way you can tell that is presenting them with toys or with treats in whichever paw they seem to favor, that will be their dominant paw. They have a sense of time. Dogs do, which I thought was interesting because our family dog we had growing up, she would always be at the window when we got home from school. When we got off the bus, she would just be at the window. She just, like, knew we would
Right.
be coming home at this time. So they said that that's a way that, like, they know, like, when walks happen, like, they might get more anxious, or, like, when they get fed, like, they have a direct sense of time.
Right.
They said that they roughly have the capacity of a 2-year-old, so they can understand verbal cues, they can understand visual cues in words and phrases, but it's not as, developed as, like, an adult
Right.
human. They can also get jealous. You pet another dog, they're like, excuse me, where are my pets?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos of, like, even, like, humans when they're spending too much time.
Yes.
Like, the dog will try to interrupt.
Oh, yeah, the dog will try to get in the middle of human affection, yes. Yeah. So, the oldest recorded living dog was named Bluey.
Beagle.
He was a beagle?
Maybe.
I don't know, I didn't see what dog breed he was.
I saw, like, a Guinness thing, and it was a beagle.
He lived for 29 years.
Yeah, it was a beagle.
Yes. Okay, Bluey the beagle. I didn't see what dog breed he was, but that is my last fact.
That's
the
amazing.
oldest living dog is 29 years old.
I got one fact.
Yeah, Hannah got one fun fact for us.
So dogs poop facing the north-south magnetic axis.
I did see that when I was looking up facts.
Yeah, and I thought that was the most important fact, so I did that one.
I mean, understandable.
Yeah. So we each picked our top 10 dog breeds. Like Alyssa said, we did make PowerPoints. I titled mine, Look at These Fucking Dogs.
By Hannah.
By Hannah.
All right, I'm going to go to mine. Don't look at mine really quick because I need to present it. Mine is called What's Up Pup? My Dog Breeds.
By blank. You didn't put your name.
I didn't put my name.
Yeah.
Untitled.
I'm going to start since I just want to.
Go for it. Aww.
So number 10, I went with the German Shepherd. It's used a lot in, like, police and, like, bomb detection. But also, German Shepherd puppies are adorable. The interesting thing is, like, I don't really know anyone growing up who had a German Shepherd. Because I think they're more used... they had to be trained a lot. So I think they're more used for, like, role purposes for jobs. But I do think they're really cute. And I love the, like, mixture of colors in their fur coat.
One of my friends from college has a German Shepherd.
Okay.
Maya, the German Shepherd.
Yes.
I don't know if you've met her, but I remember I met her when she was a puppy, and yes, German Shepherd puppies are very cute.
Adorable.
So for number 10, I have Irish Setters. Now, Irish Setters just look glamorous.
They do.
They have sleek, shiny coats, they've got little fluffy ears, and they just look pleasant.
They do. I agree.
I just like the chestnutty brown color. I like their long floppy ears. Just, like, pleasing aesthetics.
Agreed.
And that's why it's number 10.
So number 9, I went with the Dachshund.
AKA wiener dog.
Yes. I think they're so cute, especially when they're puppies, but they have, like, these short little...
Stubby feet.
Chubby, stubby, like, hands and feet, which are adorable. They have really cute facial features, I feel like. And I don't, like, necessarily know if I would ever get one of those dogs because I'd be afraid I'd just step on it because it's so low to the ground.
They are little.
But they're, like, one of those little dogs you could carry around and, like, just have a good time. And it just seems like a little fun... I don't know. I feel like it'd be a good, like, family dog if you have small kids.
Hannah, have you seen the little video of the dachshund that is a beekeeper?
I don't believe so, no.
It's in a little beekeeper outfit, and it goes and it helps smell out colonies. Like if there's sick colonies, it's helpful. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, but it has a little beekeeper hat and a little beekeeper suit to protect it from getting stung by bees. It is adorable.
That's amazing.
So for number 9, I have collies. Just a standard collie. Just to be clear. Now, I've always really liked collies. They look very regal. They have big, fluffy coats. The color combination is very nice. We had a relative who had a miniature collie.
Right.
Named Sam. And he was nice.
Yeah.
Liked interacting with him. That was before we had a dog, so...
Right.
We'd take whatever dog content we could get as children. They just look really nice. And they're good herding, you know?
Yeah.
They're good with jobs.
Yeah. So number 8, I went with a Dalmatian. First off, I mean, love 101 Dalmatians.
It's a great movie.
Absolutely a classic movie. But I just think they're so cute as puppies. You sent me a picture once of a classmate who had a Dalmatian puppy.
Oh, yes.
It might have been like one of the cutest puppies I've ever seen.
A girl I had a class with in college, she had a Dalmatian puppy she brought to class one day. Its name was Yogi. It was the cutest little puppy I'd ever seen in my life.
It's adorable.
I got to interact with it for a few hours, and it was amazing.
But I just, like, I don't know, like, I love Dalmatians. I love, you know, the spots. I just think they're kind of a really unique looking dog. And, I mean, they're adorable.
Hannah, did you know that Dalmatians are born white and then they grow their spots as they grow?
I've heard that. And it's like, even when you look at pictures of puppies, they tend to have less, like, muted colors. So, but it's definitely, I don't know, it's just a really cute dog.
So number 8, I did a Jack Russell Terrier. I picked 2 of my favorite celebrity Jack Russell Terriers. The first one being Wishbone. What's the Story, Wishbone? If you're unaware, this was a show, I think on PBS in the 90s, where this dog Wishbone would just go on literary adventures. He dressed up as Sherlock Holmes. In this picture, he's dressed as Robin Hood. And any dog who wears costumes is automatically a 10 in my book. The other dog I picked is Milo from The Mask, because while he can get the keys, he gets the cheese.
Right.
And I just, like, I've always really liked Jack Russell Terriers. I've never been huge on small dogs in a general sense, but it's one of my favorite small dogs.
Interesting that you have the Jack Russell Terrier, because I had that as 7. I also included in my PowerPoint a picture from the Mask premiere.
I see.
They're cute puppies. I think, honestly, if I were going to get a dog for myself and I wanted a smaller dog, I'd go with a Jack Russell Terrier, probably. There's a couple, but that would definitely be one of them. I think they're just, I've heard, like, they're really good family dogs.
They have good temperaments.
Right, they're good around kids. They're good at, like, especially, like, younger children. I know there's some dogs that aren't great around younger children.
Dalmatians being one of them.
Right. But they're just cute dogs. I mean, they're smaller, but they're also just so, like, they look so lovable.
They do. So for number 7, I did the Shiba Inu.
Mm-hmm.
They just look interesting. They, like, look happy. Every Shiba Inu I've ever seen looks very happy. And that's really it.
Yeah.
They look like happy dogs.
They're living life.
Yeah.
So number 6, I had to go the Golden Retriever. We've never had a Golden Retriever. I feel like it's a very common family dog. I know a ton of people who've had Golden Retrievers. And they're so cute as puppies. I think Golden Retrievers, like, they're pretty smart, I feel like. They're also another good kind of family dog. They tend to be better with kids. And there's just something about, like, a Golden Retriever that's just so, like, wholesome. I don't know. But I think my whole thing, like, that I probably wouldn't... The only reason I wouldn't want to get one is because they have those longer, thick coats. And it's just a lot of, like, upkeep. You have to brush them a lot and stuff. So that's, you know... But they're adorable.
They are long-haired dogs, yes.
Yeah.
So for number 6, I did Siberian Husky. I've always really liked Huskies. They just, like, look great. Plus, like, sled dogs. I mean, Balto. I loved all the animal movies growing up, you know? They certainly are very hard dogs to train, and you have to keep them, like, active. So, like, they're certainly, like, a difficult dog to... You have to put in the work if you're going to have a Husky. But they just look so... coldly superior, and sometimes that's what you want in a dog.
That's what I always want in a dog.
You want a confident dog.
Yeah, for sure.
They know they're the shit. They're gonna get it.
Because they are the shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Number 5, I went with a Bernese Mountain Dog. I mean, the puppies are so cute. And I think the thing that really strikes me about Bernese Mountain Dogs is the color, the coat. Because they have, like, the features on the face of, like, the almost, I don't know, like, brownish chestnut color. And then they have, you know, the white mixed in and just that really nice black, like, almost shiny coat. But I don't know that I necessarily would have thought of a Bernese Mountain Dog as one of my favorites, but when I was looking through, I was like, it just strikes you.
I mean, the eyebrows.
Right.
Yeah, I love their little cute little eyebrows.
Look at him just...
I know. He's like
posing.
He's given a mood.
Oh, so cute.
So for number 5, I have the West Highland White Terrier. Now, again, being that I don't necessarily love little dogs, I've always loved this dog. It just, like, looks really happy, and if you can see, for Hannah, I've included the book series Macduff, based on a little cute white terrier dog. This one, he's got a little bandana. It's called Macduff Moves In, but it was a cute little book series I remember reading as a child, and I always really liked the look of the dog. They just look very happy, and, like, their face symmetry is really nice.
Yeah, I agree. So number 4, I just went with a husky in general.
In general, yeah.
It's those blue eyes are so striking, especially the husky with the blue eyes. I think husky puppies are so cute. Like, one of my favorite puppies. Pretty much everything you said. I mean, they're definitely harder to train, but there's just something. I mean, they're a lot more like wolf. Aren't they more closely related to? Or no?
I don't think that's necessarily true.
But they have more similar features.
But they're similar features to a wolf than other dog breeds do. Yes.
But yeah, they're just, I mean, they're like beautiful.
Yes.
Like when you look at them,
they're very smart too.
Yeah. Yeah. So just everything about Huskies is great.
So number 4, I went with the Border Collie. I just love the way the Border Collie looks because it's black and white. They look really friendly. They got cute little floppy ears. They're great at their jobs, originally herding dogs.
Right.
So they like round things up. They're very smart dogs. I just like think they look really cute.
Yeah, I think their fur looks really cute coming in,
Yeah. Oh.
So number 3, I did a Labrador Retriever. I had to include a picture of our dog because we had a lab growing up, Maisie.
Very cute.
R.I.P.
Rip.
But I love chocolate labs too. I think there's so many different kinds of Labradors, and again, another family dog can be trained if they're properly trained. Not exactly our case, but besides the point. But they're just so cute. As puppies, they're adorable. I mean, they grow really quickly, which I feel like a lot of dogs do.
Yeah.
But there's just so many different kinds of Labradors, and they're just, again, like one of those dogs that a lot of people I knew growing up had Labradors, either that or like Golden Retrievers.
Right.
But they're just, I think they're special for a reason.
So number 3, I have the Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Corgis are just like, proportionally, this shouldn't make sense, but they just are so cute. They got little stubby legs, they got little long bodies, they got cute little pointed noses and ears, and just like they're adorable. I just really like Corgis.
It's like they're so low to the ground.
Yes.
But they also, like, their bodies are so long, it just doesn't look right, but it does.
Yes.
Number 2, I went with Australian Shepherd. Again, like, there's some Australian Shepherds who have those striking blue eyes. I think, like, in terms of, like, a coat, just looking at the color, it's one of the more striking combinations because there's not really a dominant color on them. I mean, they're majority, like, white fur, but they have, black and kind of chestnut mixed
patches of things.
But, I mean, I also love Australia. We know this.
Yes.
But I just think they're so cute to look at. They're so unique looking again. I don't know. I kind of want one now.
I essentially, on my list, I was picking between Border Collie and Australian Shepherd.
Yeah.
So I was going back and forth because it was like they're very similar
They are
dogs.
similar.
And I was like, I ended up going with the Border Collie. But number 2, I have Labrador Retriever. Now, certainly biased because our family dog was a Labrador Retriever. And they're great family dogs. I think I can't put it as number 1 because we had a problematic dog. Not for her own fault. She certainly had mental issues.
Right.
Nothing like that training could have fixed.
Right.
And so that was unfortunate that
Yeah.
She had a lot of issues that made it hard to have her be around people. Because she's very territorial of us.
She was very, like, skittish too.
Yeah, she was very skittish of a lot of things. But Labradors in general, know a lot of great Labradors. Rip, Callie, Soleil.
Yeah.
Great labs.
Rip.
I met a chocolate lab. My friend's parents have the cutest little chocolate lab. I got to meet her last summer. And I was like, this is all the joy I'll need for an entire year.
Yeah. I mean, that perfectly transitions to my number 1.
Yes.
Which would be a Beagle. Beagle puppies are the absolute cutest puppies in the world. We're calling it Rip's Rip Ginger.
Rip Ginger. Great Beagle.
But Beagle's, again, a good family dog. There's something just so cute about a Beagle. Like, if I were ever going to get a small dog, it would for sure be a Beagle. They're so cute. I mean, I feel like they're so curious. Like, they just like to get into stuff, and it's almost like a toddler. They love those Advil bottles. But they're just so cute. I mean, you can't look at a Beagle and not be like, aw.
Speaking of Beagles, my number 1 is also Beagles. I have a picture of lovely Ginger here, a Beagle that I babysat on more than one occasion. So Beagles are they're so cute. I don't know what it is. It's the big, huge, floppy ears. They were hunting dogs initially, so they're very curious.
Right.
And their little howls are so cute. I have pictured here a little Ginger photo with wearing a little baseball hat, sitting on a boat. That I was sent at some point in the past.
I didn't want to cut you off, but it's almost like they look like a kid mixed with like a grumpy old person, but a
Yes,
cute grumpy old person.
exactly.
It's kind of a weird mix, but they're just so adorable.
And I want to now that you mentioned the it was Motrin, but I think instead of Advil, but I would now like to talk about the most intense beagle coming back to life story I've ever heard in my entire life. So, Ginger, she was probably around 10 years old, roughly. I think she lived to be about 15, if I'm remembering correctly. So it was when I was in high school. She got into a large stash of, I believe it was Motrin, ate a ton of pills. And at that point, she had been, like, you know, having some difficulty walking. She was on some medication for arthritis. You know, she was kind of, you know, getting up there in age, slowing down, you know, having some health issues. She downed, essentially, an entire bottle of Motrin. I believe they got her to throw it up, but they took her to the hospital, you know, the vet, and she had to stay there overnight, and it was like touch and go. Like, they weren't sure if she was going to make it. She ended up making it, and she came back stronger than ever. After that incident, she did not take her arthritis medication. She was running around. I babysat her, like, the year she died, and she was, like, trotting around, running around in grass, like, having a great time. Like, she, like, bounced back and came back stronger than ever.
I wonder if it was just such a high amount of, like,
Right, anti-inflammatory.
that she just, like, cured her ailment.
I don't know, but it was, like, she lived for, like, another 5 years. Like, that was when we were in high school, and she didn't die until I was out of college, I don't think. So, she made it. Shout out to Ginger.
R.I.P.
Yeah, great dog.
You're missed.
Yeah. She only threw up in my bedroom and peed and broke a lamp. But you know what?
You're a legend.
Legend of a dog.
Heroes get remembered, but legends never die.
Exactly. But yeah, it's interesting. I thought our lists were going to be very different. Just because there's so many dog breeds. I did want to give an honorable mention to the Golden Retriever because it just, like, when I was ranking, I kind of was looking at dogs that were similar, and, like, Golden Retrievers and Labs are very similar, and I was like, well, I'm not going to include it, but I also do love Golden Retrievers.
Right. Because I forgot about Jack Russell Terriers, all of a sudden I remembered Mask. I cut out Boxers. I think Boxers are really cute.
Boxers are really cute.
And I think they're one of those dogs that doesn't get enough credit, but that was my one that I kind of cut. But yeah, I mean, I love dogs.
Dogs are great.
I want to get a dog once I have, you know, a place
the means
to.
And, to do that. I agree. We haven't had a dog in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a dog. But any chance I get to, like, watch a dog, I'll go for it.
Watch dog or just sent photos of dogs or puppies. I'm like, please do
Send them all our way.
Send them.
If you guys have any cute dog photos of your dogs,
send them to us.
We would love to see a picture of them.
We want dog photos.
Because we live off that. We have to live vicariously through all of you.
Yeah, it brings us joy in life.
But yeah. Okay. I don't like this, like, we keep talking at the same time. But yeah, I mean, this is just
an episode about dogs.
Yeah.
We, like, barely talked about our own dog.
That's okay. I mean, we talked about her before in intros, so.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned her. She's been mentioned.
She has been mentioned.
This is just, you know, one of those lists that I feel like is very subjective.
Certainly.
I think you could probably, like, poll 100 different people and get, like, a huge variety.
Yeah, because, like, I felt bad about, like, not including German Shepherds on the list, because, like, I love German Shepherds, but I also
think it's people's experiences.
Exactly, and there's just so many different types of dogs that it's hard to, like, judge.
Right.
I almost, like, didn't want to put them in order, because I was like, they're all
nice. It almost feels like, I mean, it's so hard to, like, it feels like you're disappointing the dogs if you don't pick them.
I know.
Like, I almost felt bad.
That sad little beagle will tell you that you've done wrong.
But I picked him first, so.
Yeah.
Or she.
I think that's interesting that while our lists were so different, we both had beagles as number one.
I mean, you can't deny that a beagle's adorable.
Yeah. There's lots of great beagles out there.
It's interesting, too, because, like, we never had a beagle.
No. But I feel like we knew a lot of people who had beagles.
That's true. I had friends growing up who had beagles, so I feel like I was kind of around them.
One of our brother's friends, their family had a beagle. It was Brad.
I think it was a beagle.
It was a beagle. It was a puppy.
I thought it was Jack Russell Terrier.
They got their second dog was Jack Russell Terrier. Essentially what happened, I believe its name was it Shiloh?
I don't remember.
Essentially what happened is their beagle puppy was stolen from their backyard.
It was actually really traumatic.
Yeah.
Like, they never got it back.
They never got it back, and then they got a Jack Russell Terrier.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't remember what its name was. Maybe Max or Shiloh.
It got really depressing all of a sudden.
It did get really depressing. But I knew people in high school, friends from high school who had beagles. We saw a lot of beagles growing up. And
Yeah.
I mean, although we never had one ourselves, I've always really liked beagles.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so,
so if you want to follow us on social media, we have Instagram, we have Twitter.
You can email us.
Email us. We are always open to suggestions.
Yeah.
We certainly have like a list that we're running through of just ideas that we've accumulated over time.
Right.
But we're always open. Like this episode was a suggested,
right, from a listener.
And we're certainly open to it.
I mean, we would definitely, obviously there's certain things we probably wouldn't do if it's, but
Well, yes. Yeah.
we would definitely, we like to do lists that we don't come up with ourselves because
Right.
it exposes us to something we normally wouldn't do.
Or wouldn't think of.
Or wouldn't think of necessarily. It's just fun, though, too. I feel like it's probably fun for you guys to get to listen to lists you suggested.
Right. Things you're interested in.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Bow wow wow yippee yah yah yay yippee yah yippee.
The worst scene of Legally Blonde 2.
It's terrible.
But you know what's the best scene?
Makes
me want a hot dog real bad.
Oh, you look like the 4th of July.
Oh, Jennifer Coolidge.
Snaps Pharrell.
Best Jennifer Coolidge movies.
Yes.
There's a lot, I'm sure.
You got American Pie. You got Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde 2.
You got Cinderella Story.
Oh.
There's a lot.
She'll be included in a lot of our other lists, I just imagine.
Probably,
by
yes.
virtue.
Yes, by virtue.
So, thanks for listening.
Yep.
And stay
Right.
tuned for next week.
We're going to hit the streets. All right.
I have to pee really bad. We would like to thank Joseph McDade for our intro music. He provides free music available for all kinds of creative use. The song that we used is called Sunrise Expedition, and you can find it and his other music on his website, josephmcdade.com. If you would like to reach us, you can email us at r3podcasts@gmail.com. That's R, the number 3, podcasts@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Instagram by searching Research Rank Repeat.